Jai Hind students. Today we'll be discussing a very important topic in the subject project management and entrepreneurship. We'll be discussing about women entrepreneurship, which is actually a very important topic in this particular subject. So these are the contents that I'll be covering today. Initially, I'll tell you what do you mean by women entrepreneurship, what are the qualities of women entrepreneurship, what are the different characteristics of women entrepreneur, what are the different factors which affect women entrepreneurship. That is also very important, that we need to be very much clear on it. Why do women take up employment? What is the necessity that an individual female has to work? So what is the reason behind that? Categories of women entrepreneurs, problems that generally women entrepreneurs actually faces, and lastly I'll be discussing about the factors which affect the entrepreneur development. So let's start with what actually women entrepreneurship is. As you can see this particular definition, women entrepreneurs may be defined as a woman or again the group of women who actually initiate, who organize and operate a business enterprise, right? A woman, or you can say a group of women who simply initiate or who is going to organize and operate a business enterprise is what is called as a women entrepreneurship. Then again, Government of India again has defined women entrepreneur as an enterprise which is owned and controlled by women having minimum financial interest of 51%. You can see like 50%, 51% of the capital and giving again at least 50% of the employment which is generated in the enterprise to again the women. Then again, there are different type of qualities of women entrepreneur. So what are the qualities of women entrepreneur? First is they have the ability to learn quickly from her abilities, right? They are capable of doing anything, and again they have the capabilities or they have the abilities that they'll be able to learn out of it. Second is her persuasiveness. They are the quick learner, right? They'll be able to learn very quickly in the short span of time. Third is open style of problem solving. Right? They generally have the open style of solving any particular type of issues or problem, whatever occurs on their way. Next is willingness to take risks and chances, right? As an entrepreneur, one should be capable of taking risks and one is capable of taking a risk. So again, as a woman entrepreneur, they are always willing to take different type of risks and chances as well. Ability to motivate people. They'll be able to motivate people. They have knowing how to win and again lose gracefully, and again of course they are creative by nature. And again these are the different characteristics of women entrepreneurs. What are the characteristics of a woman entrepreneur? We are going to discuss one by one. First is they have the capability or they have the guts of management and control, right? They have the power of controlling. They have the guts of managing any particular type of project where they are actually associated with. Second is again employment to women, of course. Third is risk taking capability. Okay, characteristics, one of the most important characteristics that they are capable of taking any particular type of risk. Then again they are the good organizer, like any sort of event, any sort of project that they are going to deal with, they'll be able to organize that particular project in the well manner, or that is actually required. Self confidence of course is must. Decision maker, they'll be having the proper capability of taking the decisions according to the scenario or according to the circumstances. Then again they have the visionary approach. They are very hardworking, or they they need to be work harder. Achievement oriented, optimistic by nature. Technically they are very much competent, again it is required. They are very bold and brave. Mentally sound, and again leadership of course, no doubt. So these all are the very important characteristics of any woman entrepreneur, of which must be there for a woman entrepreneur. Then again there are different factors which again affect the woman entrepreneurship. What are those factors? Economic independence, right? Establishing the identity. They'll be able to establish their own identity. Of course, motivation. Family support. If one is not getting any sort of support from the family, it is very difficult for an individual female also to become a good entrepreneur. So it is very important that they should be they should get the proper type of support from the family as well, so that they'll be able to succeed accordingly. Availability of funds. If you don't have the money available with you, right, the economy is not okay with you, so do you think you'll be able to succeed? No. So they should have the ability of funds, whatever is required. Greater freedom and of course the mobility. Developing risk-taking ability, okay, proper type of risk-taking ability is generally developed. Then again, it is something which is going to build the confidence of a woman too. Then why do women take up employment? This is a very, very important question, that if there is any person working in a particular family, what is actually the requirement that the woman is working, or why do women generally take up employment? This is very important factor, that there are the reasons behind which should be very much clear to us. First is the push factor. The very first point which comes under this factor is death of breadwinner, right? If there is any type of mishappening which has occurred in the family, and that person who is the earning member, the only earning member of the particular family dies, so it is actually the things which comes onto the shoulders of an individual woman. So they need to employ, so they need to work, so that they'll be able to earn the bread for the complete family. Second is sudden fall in the family income. That is again the another reason, that due to any reason, if there is any the fall in the income of a particular family, women generally come up and they start doing work or employment. Third is permanent inadequacy of income in the family, right? Permanent decrease, permanent reasons due to which the family or the income of the family is basically getting down. So they generally come up and they help their soulmate, or they help their actually the family members, so that they'll be able to deal with the situation. Then again, the pull factors. What are the pull factors? Women desires to evaluate their talent. They are talented and they feel that if I have the talent available to me, why should I waste my talent? Why not to become a good entrepreneur? Why not to do employment? Why not to earn money? Why not to establish our own identity in the country? Second is to utilize their free time and education, right? If you are educated, if you are free, why not to use it? Why not to work? Why not to take up employment? So that is again the biggest factor. Third is need and perception of women liberty, equity, etc. to gain again the recognition, importance and social status, right? If you are actually working, you'll be able to gain the recognition as well. So that is again the important factor due to which women starts working. Then to get economic independence as well. Economically you are not dependent on anybody if you are actually earning. Next is to urge to do something new, right? Many people are very much interested that, I have the capability, I should do it, I will do it. So if you have that particular type of desire, why not to do it, right? So urge to do something new. Self-employed entrepreneurs and again, rural type of entrepreneur. Then comes is the categories of women entrepreneurs. What are they? Women in organized and unorganized sector, traditional and modern industries, women in again the rural and urban areas, large scale and small scale industries, single woman, or there is a joint type of venture. So these are the different type of categories based on which we have actually divided it. If we talk about the first category, established in the big cities, having their level, technically and professional qualification, non-traditional items, sound financial positions. What is this? This we are talking in terms of the first categorization, right? They are one who actually established in the big cities. They have actually, technically qualified, they are professionally qualified, this thing. Second category, established in cities and the towns, right? Second is having sufficient education. They have the sufficient education with them, both traditional and the non-traditional items. Then again, undertaking different type of services, right? Different type of kindergarten service, different type of crèche, right? Beauty parlors, health clinic and all. If we talk in terms of third category, they are illiterate women, right? This is actually the practice in India. We are talking about the categories of the different, women entrepreneurs in India actually. Third categories are the one in which there are illiterate women. They are not educated women, right? They are illiterate, and that is actually the reason, like they may be financially weak. They are involved in family business, right? What are those family business? Can be an agriculture, can be an horticulture, can be an animal husbandry, dairy, fishery, handloom, pottery, anything, right? So based on this, generally in India, they are basically divided. First is actually in the big cities, second is actually in the cities and the towns, third is basically the one who are not at all educated. Then there are some examples related to that, like Shri Mahila Greh Udyog, you might have heard about this, 7 ladies, president of Jyoti Nayak, which started in the year 1959. Right? Then there is Lakme, Then there is herbal heritage, Balaji, and the list is again so big. You can see these are the different type of examples in the case of women entrepreneurship. Then again, there are different type of problems in the case of women entrepreneurs. What are those problems? They are one who actually have to play the dual role at workplace and at home place, right? They cannot say that like, in our family, we generally used to think that even if a woman is working, she'll not do any homework and all. She have to come back, she have to cook food for everybody, she have to do different household type of activities. So it is again difficult that they have to manage a proper type of balance between their outside work and their family life. Subordinate to men, right? Subordinate to men, and we are very much aware that we are actually living in a male dominated society. So that is again the major problem. Sorry. Next is being woman demotivated by the society, right? As I told you that if you talk about our society, it is generally a male dominated society. So sometimes, females are basically demotivated by the society just because that she is a female. Then non-awareness of facilities which is provided by the government. Right? Government today are providing number of or enormous of different type of facilities, but we are actually not aware of that. So awareness is actually required. Then comes is the competition with large scale units, different type of problems which is related to the marketing, different financial problems generally occurs, different credit facilities actually occur, right? Lack of technology, lack of confidence, lack of training. So these are the different type of, major issues in the case of women entrepreneurs. Then there are different factors affecting the entrepreneur development. It is important to know and understand that each and every component of business environment that may affect functioning of enterprise in a particular business. So it is generally, categorized into like different type of factors which basically affect the development of the particular scenario. What are those? Economic factors, social factors, psychological, government, political, and other factors. We will be listing these factors one by one. First, we will discuss about the economic factors. What are those economic factors which affect the development or the entrepreneurial development? They are those which contribute in the economic development of the economy. See, it is very much clear from the word itself only. Economic factor, right? The factors which is simply going to contribute to the economic development of the economy. From economic point of view, these factors create environment for economic development of country and also account for the establishment and the development of the industry, right? So this is something which is actually going to deal with in the terms of money or in the terms of economy, that how it can be increased, how it can be, what scenarios need to be done, what modifications need to be done, what incorporations need to be done, based on which the economy is going to be developed. Then these factors actually provide the economic security and favorable environment to enterprise. There are major factors which affect the growth and they are discussed as follows, like the capital, right, the labor, the raw material whatsoever required, and again the market as well. If we talk in terms of social factors, they support the economic factors alone are not sufficient to boost the enterprise in any region. It is very important to understand this particular point, that if you are talking about economy, simply the economic growth is actually not sufficient. If you are talking in terms of the complete development, if you need to boost the entrepreneurship in any particular region, simply the economic development will not work. In that particular scenarios, of course, including that economy, we also are very much interested in the social factors. So here comes the role of social factors. An entrepreneur can never be successful where society is going to fail. If there is a complete failure of the society, we cannot say that entrepreneur is actually successful in that particular region, in that particular domain, in that particular area where they are actually located. So it is very, very important that your society should uplift. Proper upliftment of the society is required. Advocates of social theory state that influence of economic factors or entrepreneurship growth depends on social factors also, right? So it is not that only the economic growth is requirement. There is a requirement for the social factors also. Some of social factors which affect entrepreneur growth are, first is legitimacy, entrepreneurship legitimacy. Again, the mobility, social marginality, and of course the security. Then comes is a psychological factor We have already discussed about economic and social, and they plays a very, very important role in the society. Now, along with these two factors, the psychological factors also contributes in the growth of the entrepreneurship. So that is also very important. If economic provides the best economic environment and society supports the entrepreneur endeavor, but if individuals are not motivated, then all economic and social support will be wasted, right? So this is very important point. Even if you are talking about the growth in terms of economy, even if we are talking about the social growth, right? If the society is actually uplifting, but we are simply saying that individuals are not motivated, then of course we cannot say that no, the economy and the social growth is taking place. They are simply wasted. So there should be a proper type of balance between these groups. There are various psychological theories of entrepreneurship which propounded that the entrepreneurship development, positive attitude and motivation is crucial. Motivation is something which is very, very important, which is very, very crucial. Until and unless you are motivated from some outside source, from some inside source, the person will definitely not be able to give his or her 100% out of it. So proper type of motivation, proper coordination, proper work environment, proper culture, it is something which is a mix of all. So even if economy is there, even if social factors are there, and whatever are the reason, if psychological factors are missing, this is a problem. Then following are the psychological factors which affect the entrepreneur growth. First is motivation for high achievement. If an individual is motivated to do something high, to think something high, to become something big, then of course the individual will become. And if there is no motivation, if you are getting some some type of demotivation that you won't be able to do it, even if you are capable, you won't be able to do it. So it is very important that motivation for the proper achievement need to be there. And again, status respect. Then comes is the government or the political approach. That is also very important. We have discussed about three factors till now: the economic, the social, the psychological factors, and they directly or indirectly influenced by the actions of the government, right? All these factors are influenced either directly or indirectly by the the different actions which the government is taking. Then to achieve the development objective, government through various policies initiatives tries to provide congenial environment to the entrepreneur. So it is actually the role of the government which is very, very important, and they are the one who are actually the policy makers. They need to create different type of initiatives so that it is going to venture the help out the particular entrepreneur. These policy measures may be in the form of economic policies, right? Government is of course going to make it. The social policies, and again different type of training programs which need to be properly given in the particular scenario. Then government can facilitate the establishment and growth of entrepreneurship by creating basic facilities and services to the entrepreneur. So it is actually government whether they'll be able to establish different type of facilities, different type of the needs what an entrepreneur is actually looking for. So it is actually possible with the help of the proper type of management that is actually done by the government as well. Then entrepreneur growth is affected by various government actions such as development of special economic zones, industrial zones, favorable policy initiatives, and other factors are influenced by the government actions and approaches toward the entrepreneur development. So without the help of the government, without the support of the government, without the policies which the government is, we are actually bound to work under those policies, right? We have to follow it. So it is something which is they are actually bound according to the policies of the particular government as well. Then there are other factors also for the entrepreneur development. In India, government is trying to provide favorable entrepreneur environment by enacting this particular act in year 2006, establishing separating ministry sector and launching various type of attracting. Say there are different type of schemes for an entrepreneurs, but what actually the problem is that we are actually not aware of this. As I told you, the awareness, proper understanding, so that we'll be able to help get ourselves helped by those type of the issues which is there. We'll be able to understand it. So it is very, very important that we need to be very much aware of that particular type of scheme, whatsoever has been started, and which is definitely going to help the particular type of entrepreneur in the society. If government is not active or at least interested in the economic development of the society, no growth in entrepreneurship will be there. It is very, very important that, of course, we generally used to say that economy of the particular country is going high, or the economy of the particular country is getting is decreasing. So we can say that if the government, if the policies which is made by the government is not as per the need of the day, if they are not actually active, and if they are not actually interested in the development of the particular society, of course we cannot say that there is any particular type of growth in the entrepreneurship if it is occurring. It is solely, or it is actually dependent on the type of because of the policies, or because of the government, which is actually playing a very, very important role. So if they are not active, of course there will be no proper type of output out of it. So proper balancing is required, proper type of coordination, cooperation, management, different policies of the government under which an individual is working, actually all they need to be properly coordinated. Again, then there are different other factors beside economic, social, psychological, government, political factors. There are many other factors which affect the emergence and the development of the entrepreneurs, and we'll be discussing them in the coming slide. So it is not solely a particular type of factors based on which we can say that complete entrepreneur development is taking place, right? It is something which is a mix of all, which is a mix of economy, which is a mix of social, right, which is a mix of sociological, which is a mix of political as well, which is a mix of government policies. Until and unless there is any particular policy which is actually lagging, the other will of course not work. So proper type of development, proper type of the proper type of coordination, the motivation, the other factors need to be properly taken care of if we are talking in terms of development of the particular type of entrepreneur. So these are different factors, and they need to be properly taken care of. They need to be properly taken care of from well in advance. Where the problem is actually lying, so we are actually not very much aware of it. We are actually not aware of the different type of schemes. As I told you, government has started number of different schemes in terms of women entrepreneurship. Also we have discussed about Mahila Grah Vigyan, Grah Udyog and all. So there are the different type of schemes which has already been started, but due to our unawareness, due to our due to unawareness, we are not actually able to take the proper benefit out of it. We do not know that from where we will be getting any sort of funds, right? If you want any type of fund for starting the particular type of business, and if you are not aware of it, from where you will be getting it? I have like a particular amount which is available with me, but I need some more amount of money to start a particular type of business. So government is having this type of schemes and all, but that is something that is only possible if you are aware of it. If you know that what government is going to provide you, how they will help you out, what are the type of documentation, what is basically required, is it specific to a particular type of area, or it is specific to a particular type of people that need to be given to any particular citizen of India. So the proper type of awareness is actually required, and that is actually the reason that it is something missing. Otherwise we can say that it is no doubt if the proper coordination among these different factors is there, so of course it is going to work accordingly. Then these are the other factors which affect the entrepreneur development. Infrastructural development, right? Proper development of the infrastructure of course is required, right? The place or the organization where we are actually working, if it is not okay, if it is not worth, do you think you will be able or you will be compatible to work in that particular environment? Right? This is very important, that proper development of the infrastructure whatsoever is required. Whatever resources we actually require, the domain, the area, the proper setup need to be there. If it is not there, or if it is actually missing, that is something which will lead to a proper type of an improper type of issue in the case. Second comes is the environmental scanning, right? Proper scanning of the environment need to be there. right? I have told you in my previous lectures also, you need to be very much cautious about the like the environment that we are dealing with, right? How the environment is affecting us and how we are actually affecting the environment, right? Different type of industries which may cause some type of, you know, air pollutions and all. So that should not affect the environment, right? The proper scanning of the environment need to be done. If you need to start up a business, if you need to start up a particular type of organization in any particular type of area where you feel that it is something which is going to affect the environment of the country, so better think before it, right? Number of times you need to think about it, and what are the precautionary measures that need to be taken well in advance, so that we'll be able to, you know, handle these type of issues. And this is again a major type of factor. The next factor, of course, is the training factor, right? Proper training, of course, if required, need to be given. Proper budget for the training need to be, you know, make separated at initial go, so that if it is required, we'll be able to spend accordingly. Of course, if an individual or if a group or if a team is not actually or well trained or qualified, do you think we'll be talking about the development, or we'll be getting any sort of output in the proper form of development? It is only and only possible if we have the proper trained person available with us, right? If they are not, like if in a particular project we are dealing with the people and if they are not trained, right, do you think we'll be getting the proper type of output? Or do you think they'll be able to complete even the project in that specific type of output? It is only and only possible if the peoples are actually well trained. So proper training, right, need to be given according to the requirement, according to the scenario, according to what the requirement of the current day. So these are the different factors, and they are actually related with even each other, right? We cannot say that even if we are going to you know, work about the economy, if we talk only about the social, if we talk about the psychological, if we talk about the like the political, if we talk about the government factors, and if we talk about these three factors, right, if we are going to miss even any of these, the output will not be okay. You know, the development, we cannot actually think about the development. So they are something which is actually going to work in the proper type of coordination, so that we can actually think about the complete development, or about the complete you know, the complete economic growth, the complete entrepreneurial development of any particular type of organization. Chalo, thank you so much, students. Thank you so much.